Welcome to the episode of Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valera. On today's episode, we are going to break down batch 3 of season 6 of Love is Blind. This has been one of the craziest off-screen seasons that we've had yet. I thought last year's batch was pretty cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but this year has been even crazier. Obviously, last week we're breaking news about people being engaged or not engaged and all the drama that's unfolding. However, going into this week's episode, this batches of episodes, we have Jeremy, who was maybe engaged, but maybe not engaged. He clarified it. Trevor had a full-blown relationship. Trevor was on his way to becoming one of the most popular people in the history of Love is Blind. And then apparently he had a girlfriend the entire time. When I tell you this was some of the craziest, most absurd thing. Some of the text messages were like this. I love you so much, honey. I'm excited for you, but more excited to get back to you after and start our life together. Did you get my text? Blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. Let me get to the juicy stuff here. Let's see. Nala, do you still love me? Pumpkin, I'm crying. Can I call you in 30 minutes? I miss you so much. I love you more than anything in this world. And I'm going to marry you. Yes, call me. Can't wait. Proposing the last day for another guy. Her name was Chelsea. Chelsea also passed away today. I didn't want the first thing I text you to be call your mom, but it was yesterday. I talked to you a couple times. But yeah, the girl who was in the was my final match was named Chelsea. After I gave her Chelsea's collar as my item. This is very cute. I hope you know how much I love you, and I had to pretend this wasn't real life to say anything I wanted to. Insane. And she says it's okay, Pumpkin. Now, more and more has come out, but because of this, including her saying stuff like, "Hey, you're strong. I'm sorry. What happened to you? When did you guys break up?" He ghosted me for 7 days, about 3 weeks before the show aired, then broke up with me when he returned home from work about 2 weeks before the show aired. Yeah, insane. More of this. Was Trevor hoping to gain fame, money, and attention? Yes. All the things that come from being with the reality show famous. He's already filmed Perfect Match Season 2, which of course is obviously true. Has Trevor contacted you since you outed him as trash? He tried to call me yesterday morning before everything came out. I had to block his number because I was afraid of the potential backlash and prior threats he made to me towards me for coming forward. He blocked me on Instagram this morning. Then, what made it all worse? There was one comment. I'm trying to find it here. Yes. Okay. Is it true he threatened to expose an explicit tape to your son if you added him? Yes. We had a conversation during the split about what happened if I did. Exactly what I'm doing now. Telling the truth. He said he would try to ruin my life and send our intimate videos to my family, specifically my son. Okay. Now, obviously, I am a benefit of the doubt type of person, but the problem is there's so much bad in this because of the text messages stating exactly what had transpired. Like, it's different when you're talking about Jeremy here. When Jeremy was quote unquote engaged, you have pictures of these two together, but he clarified it saying that, he talked about it in the pods. That being said, I hope Netflix can clarify his story by showing that. Trevor, on the other hand, obviously doesn't get engaged, but what if he does? I feel like so many people were wrapped up in the idea of Chelsea picking the wrong person. Well, maybe her intuition was correct by not picking him. This is a wild chain of events. He hasn't addressed it at all yet, which I think is kind of telling in some aspects. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, because I believe him not saying anything really has put himself in the hot seat here of, at least Jeremy responded. But there's so many other things that have went down. Apparently, Amber went on the show with a boyfriend, even connecting with Matthew, but that's why she kind of left so early because she didn't really find anybody. I don't know, folks. This is messy, 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 messy. Obviously, March 16th, the Love is Blind reunion has been announced. It's going to air at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I already know for a fact it was filmed this past weekend. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be thrilling. It's going to be wild, and I cannot wait. I do know for a fact that Brittany was at the reunion. Kenneth was not. So it's going to be interesting to see what she says, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff we didn't see. Now, we're down to the final 2 episodes. Let's go ahead and dive into these, because we got one couple down in Kenneth and Brittany. We've got Clay and AD that are who back and forth. Jeremy hanging out with Sarah Ann instead of Laura. Chelsea and Jimmy is weird. It may be birth control is holding Johnny and Amy back. Who the hell knows what's going to go on? But we got Jeremy playing with his mom, playing with his dog. He's talking to his mom about staying out with Sarah Ann until 5:30 in the morning. He said nothing inappropriate happened. He drove her home and left. But his mom goes, "You're lucky it wasn't me." She said, "I would have been sitting there waiting for you." He said he realized he didn't, he says he didn't realize he would lose a fiance over this, and goes, and she goes, "I could have told you that." So do we have a breakup? We have a breakup. We have another breakup. So we're going to be down to 3 couples going into the weddings. Absolutely insane. His mom said she hasn't heard him say much like he has when he was in love with Laura. Yeah, these two have been rocky as weird, but it's Johnny and Amy. These two are building shelves together. They're 2 weeks out of their wedding. Chelsea and Jimmy, she's meeting his family. He said he wants his parents to know she is the love. He is in love with her. His parents' words. Sorry, God, I'm fumbling words here, guys. His parents' word means the world to him. He said when he thinks of a woman that's his wife, it's her. He rants and raves about his love for her. His mama sees the love in him that he hasn't seen with anyone else, and she said she will support the marriage. All right, Clay and AD. He's about to meet her mom, and she hasn't seen him in a long time. So then she planned a little DIY thing, and then of course, and bought him all these things, and he no-showed. Here he comes. She seems very off-put by him. He's been working a lot. Mama AD kind of lays down the law for these two, gives them advice. And I think that these moments are important. These pivotal moments with the parents that have been through some stuff, giving them key advice, stuff that I feel like people watching from home can take and gravitate towards and put towards their relationships in the future. Her mama likes him and how he speaks and represents himself. She said she is glad she chose him. Mama AD and AD share some good conversations and tells her he is worth the fight. Johnny is meeting Amy's dad. Papa Amy likes Johnny. Yeah, I mean, what isn't there to like about these two? Okay, I'm in love with them, literally. I mean, they have been nothing but cut and dry, having good conversations, productive conversations, even in their disagreements. They're productive conversations. They're so good at this that we're not even getting, we're barely seeing them on our TVs because of it, because the rest of these are absolutely insane. Now, Jimmy, Chelsea, we want drama? We're going to get it, baby. Let's go. Jimmy said he's meeting his family was a massive leap, and he thinks he loves her even more. Things are going so great. Jimmy went out. She said he didn't ask her, but she was already bundled up. He said it was out for like an hour. The girl in the pods texted her and said, "Where's your man is out. Where are you at?" Mackenzie's calling him out. She starts hammering him here. She said she doesn't want to be with somebody that goes out all the time. This is crazy to me because the way this is edited here, okay, she just goes off the rails, okay? But there's a little bit of a detail that's kind of weird here, right? She said he doesn't give two shits about her because this man went and had a drink with his boys for his boy's birthday and kind of came home. I was like, all right, I'm Team Jimmy here. However, he said, if offending you is I was out with my girlfriends, that's different. Then that's a different problem. She began to question everything he's done. He said, "Who did you text?" He said, "If you want me to take a step back from hanging out with my girlfriends, tell me." She said, "I do," but he said, "I'm not willing to take that step back." Big blow up here. However, the one thing that we did not know, and there's an insecurity issue of why we see it. Okay, now let me spill a little bit of tea for you first. Okay, before that little meeting with AD and everybody at when they were at the resort, Jimmy told Chelsea his typical type was skinny girls. So she was already insecure about that. We've seen the insecurity about with Jimmy and Jessica and Jimmy and how he treats every other girl but his own girl. However, he's like, "I still love you and I want to marry you." But now what we don't see is something he didn't want to expose on the show. She brings up that Jimmy fucked one of his one of his best friends. They had sex together. They got the down and dirty together. Well, that's where some insecurity comes. New relationships, past issues, all of these things drum up. Now he goes and cries and whines and says off camera he didn't want to talk about that, but she brought it up in front of the camera. Now this, again, I will stand by Chelsea here because you're entering a new relationship and you're trying to prove yourself. Now, you're painting it off to the camera that there's nothing between these girls, but you have a history with one of them. That is a big ordeal to me. And it's definitely interesting to hear the insecurity comes there. Sure, did she maybe overreact just a little bit? Yeah, but there's a lot of insecurities there, and you're not doing a good job as a partner in your new partnership to comfort those insecurities. Now, let's see here. Whew, all right. I got thrown off there, just going off a little rail here. They start fighting. She's like, you know, she doesn't want to be with somebody who's going to be out drinking all night. He said it's not fair to treat her that way. He said, if you think I'm full of shit and don't care, I don't care to be with you. We have 2 weeks to get married and you're out partying. If you didn't think I love you, I don't want to be here. She said, I don't know. He said, it's not going to work. And then she said to him, please don't leave. He said, you overstepped your boundaries. All right. AD and Clay time. She said she is okay with a yes. She says, he said, is she okay with a yes or no at the altar? But she is not looking forward to a long-term fiance. She said that they've been committed to, they committed to a certain timeline in the pods. She's honoring the experiment in which she signed up for. She said, if it's a no at the altar, she can't move forward. So Clay is having those questions of, hey, maybe I'm not ready to get married, but I still want to be with you. And she's like, dog, I was on Love is Blind. This is the timeline. If we ain't there, we're not there. That's definitely an interesting way to put it. Does that put a question in my mind? Absolutely. Jimmy said when he really thought about everything was to show her he loved her and he's proud to call you my wife. He said he felt betrayed in his perspective about getting married is that he doesn't want to get married. She said, so you're saying no? And he said, you told me you don't think I love you. He said, I will always fight for the woman he loves. And she said, he isn't giving the love and affection that she wants. She's beginning to say her delivery was bad. She asked, what else can I do to make it a yes? He said he think he would need her to never cross that line ever again. She said, I will never argue with you again. He said he wants to give it a shot. Well, that was like a complete 180. These two are on again, off again, bullshit, and I'm kind of over it. 10 days till the wedding. Everybody meets time. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, folks. We got Chelsea, Jimmy, Johnny. Everybody's showing up together, except for Clay isn't here yet because he's working so far. We got AD here. Laura up first. AD said, where the fuck is Jeremy? Amy said she heard that Sarah Ann and Jeremy talked until 5 a.m. Laura said she has no respect for Sarah Ann. Laura said he doesn't care about me and was here for all the wrong reasons. And here comes Jeremy. Jeremy asked Jimmy, who is he? He said that Laura, he said everything he has gone is spun another way. You were out overnight with a girl, bro. He was saying like everything that she has said is like gone out of, blown out of proportion. Nah, bro, you were out until 5 a.m. It doesn't matter. And then you lied about your location. Dog, you can't be doing that. Like, it doesn't matter how you do it. You lied. And then he got mad because she changed his name in her phone from fiance to Jeremy. And what? Like, what? Oh, man. Trevor has arrived and Chelsea sees him. He's beefy and the mullet is gone. Chelsea said this is her type. Said it's complicated. Your future husband is here. I don't know how complicated it can be, but here comes Jessica and Mackenzie. Jessica reaches out to shake Jimmy's hand and he gives her the church hug. Jimmy said my day just got worse. Facts. Facts. Clay has arrived. Chelsea being extra, kind of doing things for Jimmy, which was very funny. Jessica's kind of freaking out. Laura isn't wearing a ring and made a commitment. The ring made a commitment and he broke it. She said, if he asks for it back, you can kick rocks. Here we go with the ring saga again. Trevor stirring the pot, kind of. Johnny and Amy are being affectionate towards each other. Jimmy said hearing and seeing Jessica is hard seeing her, and he's attracted to her. Like, we know you are, bro. It hasn't been shy. Like, we've known. God. Jimmy said he isn't shy and he has the conversation that needs to happen. He goes over the last week's, ask her about how the last weeks have been. She said they've been good. He brings up them fighting in a roller coaster. She says, I want you to be good to her. He said he gets nervous around her, talking about Jessica. And then he says, and I quote, he wishes he was with Jessica. She said, I accept your apology. She said, you never said how you felt about me. He said, I think you're the smartest person I've ever met. And they hit it off from day one. She is smitten. He is fucking smiling. She said she practiced how she was going to shake Jimmy's hand. He said, I care a lot about you. In reality, you're still my number one. What? She said, I haven't gotten over you. He said, you terrify me. She said, I'm happy for you guys. And as she cries, and he wants to dive headfirst into the water. I can't say I blame him. Shifting over to episode 11. We're back at the kiddo cookout. Matt is brought up. Everyone said he looks like Clark Kent, and AD gets a little excited about it. She perked up. Her ears kind of perked up a little bit. Jessica talks about Johnny and Amy. Sarah Ann has arrived, and Laura is not happy. Laura is shocked she showed up at all, and Jeremy is not happy either. He's kind of nervous as hell. Trevor and Chelsea are mocking it up. Trevor said the moment he got his phone, he looked her up, and she said, you are my type. And he said, it is what it is. He said her decision didn't make sense to him. She said, I fell in love with two people. He asked if the order was switched, would she have said yes? She just kind of left it lingering there. She said he was her number one going into the last day. She said, I did love you. She said, life with you would have been fun, and you would have given me so much love. Like, what's going on here? Like, everybody except for Johnny and Amy are like, just let's pass the cast around, as I like to say. I don't know how anybody's going to really enjoy watching this back. I mean, it's going to be interesting. She mentions getting dirty martini drunk and went off on Jimmy. She said it's been hard not to think about him sometimes, talking about Trevor. He said, I wish you could play out both scenarios. I like this. Now, hear me out. Okay. Now, this is definitely something that I really feel like is a good idea. Netflix, connect, listen here. Okay. Love is Blind Triangle Edition, right? One man or one woman, they get to pick two people to get engaged with. Maybe there's a little bit of a love triangle. You know what I mean? Maybe we go to Mexico. Maybe we'll spend a little bit of time with one of the people. Then we spend a little bit of time with the other person. And maybe like before they leave Mexico, they have to make a decision who they're going to go home with. I'm telling you, this is a multi-million-dollar idea. Like, if you take it, it's cool. Just give me a little bit of credit on the side. But Love is Blind Triangle Edition, you add an extra layer, you get engaged to two women in the pods or two men in the pods. Then you go to Mexico and you date both of them and you kind of get a vibe for both of them. And then before you leave Mexico, you make the ultimate decision. Who are you going to go home with? And then bada bing, bada boom, there you go. I think it's a great idea. Call me. All right, so back to the show. He compliments her. They both talk about the bracelets. They both have one. Jimmy comes over and kind of interrupts. This is one funny. This is fun. Okay. This is something that I believe was out of this world stupid. Chelsea said something was brought up about the strongest couple there at the barbecue. And she said Amy and Johnny. And Jimmy was not happy at all that she said it. She said she was joking, but really wasn't. It's okay. The thing about it is, it's true. Like, what are we mad about? It's true. Like, they have shown that they are the strongest couple. I understand you want to say it's me and you. I want you, babe. We are the strongest couple. However, the problem is they have had a rocky road. Everything we've heard from Johnny and Amy, and everybody that has heard about Johnny, they are the strongest couple. They haven't even been like wandering around and flirting with other people like you guys have. Jimmy was just flirting with Jessica, saying that was his number one. Chelsea was over here saying Trevor was her number one. She was in love with both of them. The point here is, period, they're not the strongest couple. Get the fuck over it, Jimmy. God, Jimmy gets on my nerves. Jeremy and Laura are talking. He said he tried to text her and wanted to try to talk to her, but she kept on giving him the cold shoulder. She said she politely declined the text messages, and because she didn't want to give him his address because he was trying to send flowers, and she did not want them. She snapped saying he won't flip this around on her again. He has feelings for someone else. She said, you think You came in here with a maturity to be here with someone else. There's no way in hell. She's just basically just giving him the business. Like, this dude was in the car until 5:30 in the morning with another girl. She said, I'll come back and pick up my shit tomorrow. And he said, I've already packed it up. She says, wow. He tries to say, let's put things aside while at the cookout. She freaks the fuck out on him, tells him to kick rocks with open-toed shoes. Laura, I love this girl. She's hilarious. I hope nothing but the best for her, because she didn't deserve, like, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They weren't compatible, but nobody deserves this. And then nobody deserves what's coming ahead either, okay? AD is talking to Sarah Ann, said she saw the DM. There, Sarah Ann said she doesn't feel bad for the DM, but AD interrupts her. He questions, did Jeremy leave the door open for her? And Sarah Ann said he did leave the door open for her. She said she should have pushed it more, but didn't want to be pick me, pick me. Makes sense. He said he wishes she would have asked, because maybe it would have changed his thoughts. She talks hanging out, and she said they didn't do anything, left him with the saying that he needs to close the door off with Laura before they try to spark anything else. She said Jeremy was going to break it off with Laura. That's what he told Sarah Ann that night. Now, this is the thing. AD starts grilling Sarah Ann. Who cares? Sarah says she maintains it was not with ill intent. AD says she isn't here to interrogate. She said, yeah, you are. You literally are interrogating this woman. Things kind of got weird between these two. Didn't really think about it, or didn't really like this scenario. AD kind of came off bad, in my opinion, because I feel like, yes, maybe she was defending her friend there, but also at the same time, like, nah. Jeremy and Sarah Ann are talking. She said, everyone can go fuck themselves. I love it. She is snapping. I ain't even mad at her. He said he didn't think it was that bad. She said everyone is pinning her out to be the bad guy. He said he doesn't regret talking to her and made the wrong decision in the pause. He said everything with her is different. She goes, what do we do now? And he said, let's go ride jet skis. They ride off on jet skis together. It's hilarious. Laura's pissed. She said he said he would have picked her from the beginning. She said, I'll never talk to him ever again. Lies. We got the reunion. Okay. I want them to go face to face, blow to blow. But however, I do know, T alert, that Laura is not in the reunion. She will be filming a little segment for the reunion. So just a little tea for you guys there. He tells the camera he knew what he did was wrong, and it's time for him to move on with their lives. I mean, at least Kenneth and Brittany kind of knew when to cut it off, right? Even though we don't know what the hell happened. 9 days until the wedding, Jimmy said he's 100% confident that Chelsea's his person, as the two start doing some ice sculpting. Clay and AD paint Nikes together, which is really cute. Amy would love pictures of their grandparents that have passed at the wedding. She said their family thing is also to hyphenate their names, and he's all for it. They're talking about the birth control. This is a healthy, productive conversation. Vasectomy is being talked about, and how it's not 100% always reversible. And listening to Johnny break it down was kind of hilarious, very, very funny to hear. She said she is considering birth control. Again, I love healthy conversation, showing them habit. There's no argument. There's no yelling. There's no over talking each other. These two are the best, period. Wedding dress shopping. Amy's mama was so sweet over Amy in the wedding. It's just such a beautiful moment. Chelsea talks about her first wedding. She had a $100 dress. Very charming moment there. Chelsea and Jimmy are both talking a different game right now, which is definitely interesting. Maybe there is some hope in the land of marriage and potential walking down the aisle. Clay and AD are talking each other up. I'll tell you what, all these dress trying on moments are so much fun. It's just sweet moments with people getting fully immersed in the idea of their upcoming nuptials. It's just so heartwarming, beautiful, and I love it. We end the episode with Clay. He set up a hot date for AD. Johnny and Amy have a sweet date together, followed by Jimmy and Chelsea going to a whole theme park to themselves to ride rides. And of course, next week, bachelor and bachelorette parties. Everything I'm sure is going to hit the fans. Chelsea says to Jimmy that she asked herself a lot, and she thinks that Jimmy was her forever, and today only amped it up. He said he doesn't have a doubt in his mind she is his person. He said we are going to get married, and ask if she can give him an answer, and she starts to cry. Cliffhanger. Oh boy. Well, maybe we're down to 2 couples walking down the aisle. Who the hell knows? But that is it for this week's batch of Love is Blind. It's crazy. It's wild. I'm going to give you my percentages as we move on to the wedding episodes next week. Johnny, Amy, 100% 100% positive these two are going to get married. They're a delight to watch each and every week, and they are getting married. Don't let me down, Netflix. I cannot just deal with any more pain from this season. They have this glow about them that shines, and you can tell these two are in love. I'm at 70% on Clay and AD. Despite their highs and lows, Clay and AD seem to have a strong pack. I need to see some more convincing that they both will see I do, but I'm leaning that way right now. Jeremy and Laura, obviously, we're at 0%. These two aren't even together anymore. And Chelsea and Jimmy, I'm at 0%. I'm not, nor have I ever been a Jimmy fan. I believe he has strung Chelsea along throughout this entire season. She has managed to take all the heat for it. If Chelsea says I do, I will fly to North Carolina and have to face conversation with her myself just to see and get an answer of why. I would love to hear your thoughts on this batch, folks. Drop me a comment here on the YouTube. If you're listening on podcast platforms, do me a favor, hop on to Twitter at Ricky Blair _. Hop on over to the TikTok at Ricky Blair _. Let's talk Love is Blind. Also, I meant to say this at the beginning of this episode. I am looking for passionate lovers of reality TV to potentially collab with me in the future to build a potential reality TV program. You know what I mean? Reviews, content, recaps. Let's do it together. Let's work together. We all love reality TV. So hit me up, be in contact, and make sure to check out all of the other podcasts here that I'm doing on the Love and Reality podcast. Obviously, we're recapping The Traitors right now, which is slowly coming to an end. I'm going to have to find something for us to watch because Love is Blind is ending on the 16th. And then like The Traitors is ending like either the week before that. So there's going to be new I'm going to need new stuff to watch very, very soon. But thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Love and Reality Podcast. I'll talk to you guys next week.